I was born here in 1948, and Dad and Mom both worked. I don't know the exact I don't know the exact time frame when they were at the Riverside at the Bryan Air Base, but they both worked out there. We moved in 1953, so it was obviously between late 40s and early 50s, but we moved in 1953 when Dad finished his degree in vocational agriculture. He was an ag teacher for 20 years and a farmer for 50 years, but we moved back to Hoka, back to Lynn County, where they had grown up. So the Riverside Relish campus has a lot of importance and meaning to me because of all that I heard my parents say about it over the years. Of course, it was the Bryan Air Base to them, the old Bryan Air Base, and when they would come down to see me when I was in school or any time over these past 50 years, sometimes we would drive out there on Highway 21 and talk about it, and that's where they worked. My father, Lester Adams, worked for a vocational training school, vocational school. A man, I remember he and Mother spoke often fondly of L.D. Williams and his wife Winnie, L.D. and Winnie Williams. When L.D. Williams was here in Bryan College Station, he was the director of this vocational training school, and my father, before he left, was the associate director. I don't think he didn't start out as associate director, but this was a wonderful vocational school and training facility that was obviously needed. I remember Dad told me they taught like welding and cabinet making and upholstery and maybe an electrical trade. They taught trades for a lot of the veterans, primarily, I think, that were coming back, were back from the war. And ironically, my mother worked at Bryan Air Base, but she was not with this. I think it was maybe the Southwest Vocational School or Vocational Training School. Mother was actually with maybe the Air Base. I don't know who was in charge of the Bryan Air Base, but she worked. She was the secretary. Today it would be executive assistant, I think, but she was the secretary to Major somebody who was in charge. I just remember talking about the flights coming in, and I remember her speaking fondly about how much she loved the job. Of course, I was little, 2 or 3 years old. I was small, and a lady kept me at home during the day, and Dad and Mom worked. I wish I'd paid more attention over the years when talk of the Bryan Air Base would come up and what they were doing out there. Now I'd give anything if I remembered all the little details that they talked about and exactly who Mother worked for. I can't remember.
Let's fast forward to Rellis. When was the first time that you heard the Texas A&M University system was going to take over the Riverside campus and do something with it?
Well, of course, we've known about Riverside forever, and we've known that some of the agencies, they've had activities and projects going on at Riverside for many, many, many years. But I credit John Sharp to. I mean, it's just it's transformational what's happened. It was Sharp's brainchild. This has been an incredible asset of Texas A&M's and the systems now for many, 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 many years. But thank the good Lord for people that have big ideas, and John Sharp's one of them. He just, I think it weighed on him for 2 or 3 years how underutilized Riverside was, what an underutilized asset. And he had the big ideas, and the big idea and many smaller ideas surrounding it, and he's the catalyst that made it happen. So I credit the chancellor for his incredible vision, and then for his attitude about getting it done.